Hello ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Unnamed here once again. Sorry for the lack of videos for a little while. I've just been a little busy with the real life stuff. Unfortunate. But, no way around it. Today I'm going to be doing a tour of the shipyards that I've been working on for quite a while, as well as the few ships I've been working on here and there. Right now I'm inside my private yacht. A nice, comfortable little thing. Fully equipped kitchen, crew quarters. Everything has the signs indicating what everything is. The head, more quarters, and the cockpit. Now this ship is based loosely around the runabout from the Deep Space Nine Star Trek series. It doesn't have the nacelle sweeping downward, but it does have this nice little thing up top, which is pretty much all the jump drives and various other bits of stuff, I guess you would just say, that this ship requires to keep itself moving. It is fully oxygenated. It even is running a few scripts to indicate damage and all that. Up ahead here, we have a transport ship. Houses 6 plus a captain. I'm making a pretty heavy use of the Azimuth mods. And it's a very nice ship. Very slow, extremely heavy. Requires a lot of the Azimuth batteries just to keep itself powered. Kinda ugly. I'll probably work on that a little bit more, but for right now, it serves its purpose getting me around where my station and other ships are. It is not suitable for atmosphere, neither is this ship here. I could probably add to this thing and work around that, but for right now, they're pretty good. Now, let's head up here to the walkways on either side of this station. It has 4 hangars in total, 2 hangars for the utility ships, and 2 hangars for fighters or whatever you need. And these fighters are a variation of my hatchet fighter. These are not quite suited for atmosphere. You can somewhat get around on a planet's surface, but landing and taking off is a bit difficult. Now heading down this walkway, everything has these nice little doors. Same with this one over here. So that everything can be sealed up in the case of an attack or if you're transporting anything. And there are crew quarters on either side, kind of waiting areas for those that are waiting on a ship being prepared or even constructed inside the shipyard. I haven't added anything just yet to kind of keep a ship stable. I was thinking about making something where some arms would swing out and clamp a ship into place rather. But yeah, that just does not seem like a good idea with how fragile everything is in this game. There we go, that stopped the weird sound of these things. It's a little bug where it sounds like they're constantly, I can still hear it, constantly moving, which kind of bothers me a little bit. Now, this shipyard itself, as you can see from the thrusters, it can move. It has 2 jump drives. It may not take it very far due to its massive size and the amount of ships docked to it, but it does pretty well. Now, back to these crew quarters. As you can see, pretty spacious. Got a coffee machine, some couches, a TV, some plants to kind of liven things up. Restroom facilities for those that need them, which is pretty much everyone. Beds, which that's a little weird. Okay. Beds for resting during long operations. And even further up top, towards the front of the ship, right here. This thing is covered in solar panels. It also has Gatling turrets for defenses, some oxygen generators, factory components on the outside as well as on the inside. This ship is designed to sustain itself pretty well in the event of any extended operations or during trips to an asteroid field. It can serve a bit of a transport ship role. Now inside, we have the bridge. Very nice looking bridge, by the way. Lots of various little control centers to handle any of the things that really need to be taken care of on this ship station. Well, I originally started it as a station, but it's quickly become a ship in its own right, and I absolutely love it. Now, it's around 6 million kilos, which is a pretty hefty ship, though I think one of my battleships is actually much heavier than this thing. Along here we have the crew quarters. Everything they need to equip themselves and survive out here. A galley equipped alongside it, and some seating areas. Personal storage, because, you know, everyone needs somewhere to put their stuff, right? And in here we have more of the factory components. Assemblers, refineries, oxygen tanks, because we all need oxygen to breathe, at least for the time being. Connected to a large storage container back here, and there are 2 more on the outside, as well as, I believe, 4 hydrogen tanks. Place for the suit, place for any weapons and ammunition, and of course, we have ourselves the head, the restroom, with a shower, sink, toilet. It's a very nice ship. I'm very proud of this one. Now out here is another ship that I made for almost purely exploration purposes. You might recognize it for some of you who've seen my older videos as the Gallant, but I've made some adjustments to it. It still has the front battery of railguns, but I've reduced the weapon payload a little bit. I've added assemblers and refineries, oxygen tank, and pretty much made this ship as livable as possible. In here we got ourselves medical chamber for any injured, sick, infected crew members, what have you. Engineering and storage. Inside the engineering, we have our little consoles here. And I took out one of my massive reactors and put in a stack of these smaller reactors. Now they do provide enough power along with the batteries and solar panels attached to this ship to give it all the power it really needs. Now before I go down there, let's take a quick look at what we have upstairs. This is the crew quarter. Plenty of recreation, exercise, a small-ish gallery. Galley. Sorry. Me not words good. Toilet, shower. No sink. I don't have room to put it in here, unfortunately, with how the blocks are. A little briefing area right here that leads to the captain's quarters. Relatively sparse. He doesn't even have his own toilet. But he does have these really nice little ferns to keep him company and a nice desk to work at. His own personal armory and suit. Little couch. Very nice. And upstairs, the bridge. Very spacious, very open. Not very suitable for major combat, but it does have enough weapons and resources available to it to defend itself if need be. Now down here, we have a little hatch that leads us down to a prep area. Another armory, another suit locker. And outside these doors, a little landing area for a small fighter or a small shuttle. Some of the Gatling guns down here. Now some of you may be thinking, now, what's with these huge wings here? Couldn't you have just, gotten rid of these and made the ship as is? Well, yes, I could have, but these actually provide a decent amount of armor. If it was just, a couple layers butted up against this, any hits here would translate to the other side. Any blocks destroyed here would probably be destroyed out here as well, but this little buffer area between these sections provides a fair bit of defense, and depending on the angle that they're hit, can actually survive quite a bit for light armor. And that way I wouldn't have to worry about anything in here being hit. And just backing off a little bit, that's just 2 layers of light armor. They pretty much overlap on each other a little bit depending on the angle, which means it's a lot tougher to try and break in. Now up here, we have a major mining and refining ship that I had built pretty much out of this here. This little top section, I decided, well, I can turn that into a ship in its own right, so I just cut it off, pasted it up here, and began working on it a little bit, and it actually turned into something that's pretty nice. I added a couple more cargo containers on this, as well as some more oxygen tanks, because this is intended to be a more major supply ship. More solar panels for power. A little landing pad here with a connector for a ship that I have inside that I will show you soon. Another connector down here for connecting to larger ships and stations. And a decent sized hangar in here. Now, it may look a little out of place, kind of like just this huge bulge just sitting there. But there really wasn't a whole lot to do about that. This is a very thin, slim ship. Probably one of the thinnest and slimmest large ship builds I've ever done. Let's head inside, and I'll show you the rest. Now, as you can see, nothing has really changed with the bridge. The layout is exactly the same as the shipyard. But in here, we have a lot of jump drives. 2, 4, 6 of them. as well as a large assortment of batteries here, meaning this thing can go for long-range expeditions. It's very effective with that. The crew quarter, again, nothing has changed, and back here, the internal factory, nothing has changed. However, down here, we have a medical station, which I need to add a few more things in here. I need to get rid of some of these lights and beef up this little medical station. And through these doors, we reach the hangar. In here we have a very large mining ship, which is based off of the, what did I call it? Multi-tool ship, the utility ships that I have in my shipyard. That's pretty much what this is. I made a few minor adjustments here and there and added some drills, and it serves the purpose really, really well. The hydrogen engines that I put on here make it somewhat suitable for getting on and off a planet. However, if this thing comes under load, if it's weighed down by a bunch of resources, it's going to really struggle getting off of a planet. As it is, it has a big enough struggle just moving around. There's no oxygen inside this hangar, at least not at the moment. And with these, you can put a fairly decent sized ship in here. It's a little plain at the moment. I haven't really done a whole lot in here, but it is, without a doubt, a very, very effective ship for what it's intended for. And I've also done a bit of modification to my station. The UNI headquarters. It's still not finished. I still have some expansion to do. But as you can see, I have a small little docking port here for smaller ships, mostly, as well as the hangars over here for those who don't feel comfortable parking them outside. Through these doors, we come into our factory. Now, the factory is, well, effective. 2 hydrogen tanks to refuel ships, another stack of small reactors to provide power, large cargo container, because you absolutely need those. Everything is conveyored and connected, and everything is hooked up properly. It really is a fantastic little thing. Inside here we have an armory and supply depot. And the hangars here are very nice. Fairly large, open areas. Elevators to get between levels. They're a little bit wonky, but, you know, that's because they're using pistons. Not a whole lot I can do about that. In here we have a somewhat larger, taller hangar with wider doors for somewhat larger ships. For anyone embarking and disembarking. We have a communal crew area. Plenty of sleeping spaces, recreation. Well, maybe not so much recreation. I could put that out here. Just TV and books for now. But let's head further downstairs. Now these call buttons here call the elevator up and down. Absolutely necessary, because you don't want to be trapped on one level or another. The main control center, which shows any damaged blocks, working components, power supply, location, inventory, cargo space, date, and time. Through here, simple captain's quarters. Again, fairly luxurious. Back here, we have the research laboratory. Our little computer bank here, hologram of the planet below. A table for conducting experiments. Of course, the main computer and display over here. An absolutely beautiful view. Now over here we have the medical center, because every station or ship needs some kind of medical facilities. This one even comes equipped with its own quarantine chamber. Now let's go ahead and go even further down. Here we come across the cryopods, 8 in total, for anyone staying overnight, I guess you'd call it, and the conference room, where all the top executives of the UNI meet and discuss any policies or politics that need to happen. A nice little view of the planet below, or whatever happens to be below. And in here we have private quarters for the top ranking officials of the UNI. I haven't done a whole lot to decorate in here, but everyone of course gets a restroom, a bed with a TV, an excellent view outside. A communal galley. Now, some rooms are smaller than others, but at least you have your own private chambers, as opposed to the other people above who have to share accommodations. That's pretty much it. That's all the things that I've been working on lately. So, aside from all of that and real life issues, this is pretty much why I haven't been making as many videos lately as I probably should have. Just been, you know, extremely busy. Now, if you've watched this far into the video, I have to make a question or questionnaire, whatever. What else would you like to see? Would you like me to start reviewing other people's works, or do you have a request of ships or stations or other things that you'd like to see me build? Go ahead and leave a comment, and I'll see you next time.